Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains and thanks for joining me for the next video. In this series we're going to start tackling the lighting. Everything else is done. You can see the interior here has been installed. It looks pretty good. I think I like it. I like it a lot. But now we've got to start doing the lighting in here. Everything else is done. So why don't we look at how I'm going to light this. And in this video we're going to take care of lighting this hallway. And you can see in this awning here there are spots for 4 lights. I want to get those installed, and then we want to light up this display, this whole front window section here, and I want to put lighting behind here, just this lower half. And that's what we're going to do. These are what I call the static lights. These will always be on, always at full brightness. So why don't we take a look at what I've got for that. So what I have is I bought these lights here, and these are LEDs. They're actually very tiny. Bought these on Amazon. I'll put a link to them under the video if you go and look at that. They come 20 in a box right here. And what you get are right here. These are the LEDs. And what you have, the LEDs are right here in the end. Let me pull one of these out. So we go right up into the camera here. This is what you end up with. This right here at the end is the LED, and then you have all this wire lead on the end of it. But that is it. Let's see if I can put something behind that so you might be able to see it better. It's a little hard to see. Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, it's just that little LED on the end. I want it small because inside this building I have to hide them. They can't be seen. And the standard LEDs that I've always been using look like these. So you can see there's quite a difference in size. Okay, and these here are just way too big to do what I want. So we'll put those away and we'll move on to these. Now these get resistored the same way every other LED gets resistored. So they run on about 3 volts. And you have to resistor them and all. So what's going to happen, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to start mounting these LEDs. And what you want is there's a yellow side, and then the back side it's silver where the wire connections go. So that's the mounting side. This is the light side, the business end of it. So what I want to do is I want to start mounting these where they're going to go. So let's start with the hallway. So in this hallway here I want 2. Okay, so we'll flip this over. And what I would like is one of these mounted right here. I want to put one right on the top of this doorway pointing up, and then I want another one on the roof here pointing down, and that's going to be even. It's going to give me an even light across all of the windows and the door. And what I'm going to do, since you can't use CA in here or super glue or anything like that because it'll fog the plastic, what I'm going to use is this stuff. I've been using this kind of a lot lately. I bought this bottle of Aleene's, you know, it's called Turbo Tacky Glue. I like it. I have a bottle of the regular glue that they make, and I don't like it because it was too thin. And the Formula 560, this is the other glue I had been using. This stuff here works really good, but it's very thin. You can see it in the bottle. It's very, very thin. So I don't really use that too much anymore. I like this Aleene's because it comes out heavy. It's very, very thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this and squeeze it out on the paper like that. We'll cover this up. And I'm going to take this LED, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a toothpick. Okay. Take a little toothpick here, and I'm going to put a dab of glue on the building right where I want the light to be. Like that. Then I'm going to take this bulb and I'm going to set it into the glue and just kind of push it into the glue. Take my knife. And I think what I'm going to need is a piece of tape. Alright, so now I'm not going to touch this again. I'm going to let that all dry up and that'll be in there. Let me let this dry, and then we'll come back and we'll start adding the bulbs to the second side here. Okay, so the lighting here is now dried. You can see what we've got. So we have the one on the bottom right there, and another one way up on the top, and those are gonna light up that whole hallway. So what I want to do now is I want to cover up this whole hallway because we need to keep that light separate from the rest of the building. So what I have is another strip of styrene, and I'm going to measure this. Now I want to take these wires and move them out of my way like this. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to mark it off to where I want to cut it. And then I want to mark off, I want my wires to come through this. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to mark this off where the light wires, I want them coming through. I'm going to put one right there, and I'm going to drill another hole just down from the top right there. So we're going to drill these two holes for these two wires, these four wires to come through this. And then I'm going to take my flat blade on the back side and just scrape off any extra. There we go. So now we have two nice round holes. Make sure this is clean. And then we're going to pass these wires through the two holes. And then we're going to glue that down just like that. Okay, so we have that part of it done. And then I'm just going to look down the hole here, and I want to make sure that I'm pulling the wires kind of taut out of the holes. And we're looking good just like that. So we can close up this glue. Now you'll notice I didn't bring this all the way down to the bottom here. I'm not really too concerned with that. When we start dividing, because now we just need more strips that are going to run across 2, 3 here, and then 1, 2, 3 here. And then we're going to run the same kind of lighting. 1 here, 1 here, 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 and then 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bulbs will run this building. Plus these two, but these are the lights that are going to run with the Arduino stuff. These are not. Now what I'm going to do with this is we're going to run the copper tape on the part here on this backing. Okay, so the copper tape, which I have all in a bag here, I'm going to pull out a strip of this and get the scissors, and I'm going to cut a strip of this like that, and then we can put this to the side. Now this, I want to run 2 strips. So we're going to cut this here. And then we need to burnish that down. And to do that, I'm just going to get a small piece of styrene again. Little piece of styrene, and we're just going to brush that and rub it right down in, make sure that it's there to stay. And this side as well. Like that. Let's get these stripped down and connected to the pads here. So the first thing to do is to cut this off like that, and then this one needs to reach, so we'll cut this one off like that. Okay, now to strip off those little ends of the wires, I need to take this little board here and the soldering iron. Probably would have been easier to do this out of the building, but I didn't know how long the wires were going to be. But what we're going to do, we're going to set this up here, and I'm going to take these wires and toothpick, and I'm going to move them down like this so that I can access them. And then we're just going to take this soldering iron and we're going to melt it off like that. Okay, and then what we get is wires with the stripped ends on them. There it goes. Like that. Now, all I need to do at this point is one side of this copper needs to be for a positive, one side needs to be a negative. Right now it doesn't mean anything either way. like that. All right, so now we have all of these 4 wires are all hooked up. So now we just need to settle these down. And I put the pads down here to have our power output come across. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take 2 wires onto here. I'm going to drill through this, and I'm going to drop some feeds down into that and solder them in place. And I'm going to run them through this wall right here and over into this side. And then the lights that light up this lower half will wire right into this set of lighting here, and it'll all be the same. All right, before we go any further, why don't we hook up our 2 power wires to here. So I'm going to use black. I'm going to take a length of black, and I'm going to cut these really long. And then we're going to take a red. Now these are not needed to be this long at all. I'm cutting them long to give myself room for when I start running the wires around on this side. Alright, so we need to tin the ends of these wires here. So I'm going to put those in here. A little bit of solder. And our soldering iron. So now we're all tinned here. Now we need to add these wires to this. So let's get these off. Put this to the side. And we want to add these wires here. What I'd like to do is drill through the bottom on the side here and bring them up and over the top. That way these wires can't pull out. Okay, so I'm going to drill a hole. Okay, so now I just want to solder. I have the 2 wires going in and up through the top. I just want to throw a quick bit of solder on these so that we have a good connection. It's going to go like that. Like that. And that's all we need. Now we can put power to this end. We'll strip off this, and we'll strip off this. And we can put this in here like this. And then we can put power to the 2 leads. And now we have the hallway that's lit. Alright, and we can even knock this down just a bit. So there you go. So the hallway is lit, right? So the only thing left to do with this now is to resistor it down to the right brightness. Now you can see a little bit of the red wiring in the door. I will readjust that, and then that'll go away. But that's it. That's the hallway done. Now to keep these wires from pulling out, what I'm going to do on this one up here, this top wire, and this one is I'm going to put a little dab of caulk on there just over the hole to hold these wires solid in place. And then the rest of this, I'm just going to take this and twist this around a little bit and then glue it down to the base here. Now, so that side's done, and then all I need to do is bring these wires through the wall here into this side. So for this section here, I'm going to take yet another strip of styrene, and I'm going to cut this right about right here. I'm not going to go quite the full length. Let me cut this right there. So this piece here, And that for that, I'm going to use the strip lights that you've seen me use, hopefully you've seen me use in the past. So we're going to use a row of these. So again, they run in rows of 3s. So we need to divide this up. So we're going to cut it on this pad right here. And then scissors, we're going to cut this off like that. So then these will run right across here like this. Alright, so let's peel the backing and we'll stick these right on. I'm going to put them close to the front edge because I want them over the window displays, right? So we got to keep those where as close to the front as we can. So this is going to sit down in here like this. It's hard to show exactly what's going on here, but I will do my best. What I want to do is I want to glue this right below the window display, but right on top of this piece here. We want to center it up over the top of this. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I want to get a couple of wires off of this to come out the back. Alright, so we need 2 more wires. I'm going to continue my theme of red and black. Okay, so I got the strips working, and what I've done now is I've taken the strip and I've put it into place and I've clamped it because I want the glue to set. And I'm using the same glue I've been using for all my plastic construction. Just going to run a bead down and some down here. And we want that to dry up fully. So we'll come back when this is all set and I'll give you a look as to how that's all going to look. Alright, so I finished the wiring. I kind of cheated. When I left you, we had just started and finished the hallway over here. Here's what we ended up with. It's quite a mess of wiring. We have the hallway wires here. These are resistored down on their own. Okay. Those wires come over and I ran copper strip across here. And then I added also lighting right above the windows here, the tinted windows on both sides. Okay, those are resistored down and hooked into these copper strips. These are the leads that come off the copper strips. These will hook into 12 volt power. This whole thing runs on 12 volts. Okay, now what I didn't show you in the video earlier was the awning. I added lights to that, and I don't know how well those are showing up. What I have is those tiny LEDs, one over each hole, and then I ran copper strip, and each of the LEDs, the wire from the LEDs hooks a black one and a red one on each side. And then I took leads off the ends of that, drilled a small hole through the building here, and that comes out on the inside right here. And this right here is where it's resistored down. Is it that one? No, it's this one. Has a resistor in it to cut the brightness of that light as well. And this is kind of why I wanted to paint the center 3 windows in here black, because it allows me to hide some of this stuff. This would all show in the window. Now you're probably thinking this wires here are probably going to show. No, not so much, because we're not quite done with this. But let me give you a look as to how this actually looks lit up, and you can see where we're at. So I have a power supply. Let me run the wires up here. And we'll hook these up. One there and one there. We'll turn this over this way. Let's cut this one down. And we'll cut this one down just a little bit. So there you can see that's how it looks. And then we'll add the lighting. And you can see we have the light here lit up. Our storefront displays are lit. These are very, very dim. Okay, I wanted them dim because I'm going to put interior behind these windows here. And in order to do that, I want these windows to look tinted, right? So in order to do that, we have to make the lights in the back very dim. And then the lights underneath here are all working as well. And those are dimmed on their own set as well. So anyway, the last thing that I need to do for this is we need to put the interior behind these 3 windows on each side. And what I have for that, all right, is I cut some styrene right here. And then the pink on here, this is double-sided tape. I'm trying all kinds of different methods to get these backdrops to stick. I've tried the sticker paper. It works okay, but in certain situations it's possible for it to peel off, come undone. So I'm trying this double-sided tape because this is going into an area that I will not be able to access later. So I've already stuck the tape down. We're going to peel off the backing here. Check below the video that I'm on, that you're watching, and I've started doing in the last year, I started adding links to everything I use. There's a lot of people ask what I'm using and where they can get it, and yeah, just check below the videos and you'll be able to see what I've got. Alright, so now these backdrops here are just going to fit right inside of here, and I don't even think I'm going to glue them. I'm just going to make that they're just pressure fit. There. Now, when we light this building once again, you should be able to see the, let's hook this up to power. And then you get just a small look at the interior that's in there. You even have a look at some of the lights. It looks like track lighting maybe inside. I like it. I really do. Yeah, that looks really good. I don't know if you can see this in here. Yeah, hopefully this shows. It looks really good. I'm very happy with that, and I think that's going to fly for everything. And then when you turn the lights off, the interior goes dark. The upstairs, full tinted windows. So there you go. All right. So anyway, this is how it's going to go, and we've got a good jump on the lighting. It's all looking pretty good. So the only thing I do want to say is the wiring in the back looks like a mess. It just looks like a lot. It's a big spider's nest. Don't let that intimidate you if you're going to try something like this on your own. What you need to do is just take one set of lights at a time and run them through. It's very easy to do. It just takes some time to get everything, you know, how you want it. You know, the resistors, for me, it's trial and error. I just keep changing them out until I get the brightness that I want. I refuse to do the math to figure it out. That's just too much work for me. So Yeah, just take your time and you know, one light at a time or one set of lights at a time, and you'll get it done. It's really not that hard. You know, don't let that scare you away. With all that being said, I think everybody, I think that's going to be it for this week. We're going to call it a day, and next week I think we're going to tackle the marquee sign that goes out front. So if you're just finding me for the first time, by all means, subscribe to the channel. Love to have you along. Don't forget to like and share my videos. And until next time, happy modeling.